If you are looking for a little bit more of a challenge, a little bit above beginner, that you're going to love this bracelet. Welcome back. We're doing another great chain link. I am not the first one that has done this. I have seen this many a time, but I absolutely love it, and I wanted to share it with you. I wanted to make it with you today, and it is a little more advanced. I still think a relatively new person to wire wrapping can do this. It's just slightly more advanced, but it's really going to build your skills. It has such a great feel to it. It's got some weight to it, yet it's still slinky. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of those wooden dippers for honey. That's what I absolutely loved it. I had a lot of fun making these bracelets. Now, I will let you know ahead of time, it is more time consuming and it uses much more material. So I do have some other videos for chain links that don't use quite as much material. I'll link one of them up here. This one does use more material. It's just heavier, and it does take a little more time. So maybe you've got some extra time on your hand. Maybe you want to run through some wire. This is going to be perfect for all your jewelry projects today. Each one of these links measures roughly a 1/2 inch from edge of the loop to edge of the loop. Now, once they connect, you're going to lose a little bit of that length. I think I used, which one's the shorter one? I think I had 15 pieces of wire cut for this 7.5 inch one. This one's 7.25. So this one had 14. And then I'm going to make one that's 13, just a little bit smaller. So keep that in mind. Roughly cut yourself 13 to 15, maybe a little bit more if you have a bigger wrist, of 4.5 inches. I'm using 18 gauge. I have not tried it with anything less. It just deserves something a little thicker, I think. This is also very adjustable for whether you're a man or a woman. Size it up with a higher gauge if you're a man. Go down even further if you want something even daintier. Just a great link that man or woman can wear for your jewelry. Let me clear our space here and we're going to get started. Just basically get all your basic tools out. I will say that I think you're going to need probably 2 chain nose pliers, or a mix of a chain nose and a flat nose, something like that, because I will show you when we get to that point. So take one of your 4.5 inches of whatever gauge you choose. This is how I do this. It's just how I do this. I'm just going to show you how I lay it down on any of these inch marks, and I want to measure out one end 1.5 inches, and at the mark that would be 1.5 inches, this is where we're going to put our first bend. Slightly, somewhere between 90 and 45 degrees. Just like that. Now, if you saw on my community page, something very, very, very horrible happened. Now, you know how much I love these pliers. I use them in almost every single project because it just makes it easy. I don't like fooling with round nose pliers. I want consistency. I don't want to have to think about it. And I dropped them on the floor yesterday, and the smallest bail broke off. So depressing. Now, I do have these sad replacements. These are a little bit heftier, I will say, but the smallest bail is not as small. And you can go back and look at my other videos. This small bail is almost the size of the second one. Basically, it is. So I'm missing this tiny one that was on here. Probably why it broke off, because it was tiny. So this is not going to do me. This is fine. I'm definitely going to keep it, but I need to find something that goes down to the 2 millimeters that was on this for a nice small loop. So I have to use a round nose Not what I want to use, but we're going to make it work. I'm going to be wrapping around this point, somewhere around this point on the round nose pliers. I did have a mark there, but it always rubs away. It's so annoying. I don't want to have to worry about marking my pliers. I just want to go, you know. That's why I use the stepped pliers. So I have it like that. We're making our very first loop, bending around. I'm not really turning the pliers. I'm just using the bail as a form. And we're going to make our first loop of our very first link. I have plenty to tell you. I have plenty to tell you in our girl talk time, so make sure you stick around for that. Lots of interesting stories to tell. Okay, so we have made our first loop, and this is how I go into the next phase. This is where your two chain nose pliers, or maybe a mix of a flat nose and a chain nose, is going to come in handy. I'll grab it like this. I'll turn it. So I'm holding the pliers and everything out of the way with my left hand. Well, if you're left-handed, you're going to do this opposite. You want this kind of angled out just a little bit. Grab your other chain nose or flat nose pliers or whatever, and this is when we're going to start making you wouldn't know this, but underneath of this is a whole nother level of wraps, a whole nother layer, and that's what kind of give it that barrel look to it. It's really, really wonderful. So we're going to make our first set of wraps, and you can make anywhere from 3 to 5 wraps. I'm only going to do 4, and that's kind of what this is measured out to do, 4 wraps and then back with 4. Maybe some more if you can. Holding this hand very firmly, we're going to make our very first wrap. Grabbing the end of the wire and release when you wrap once. Don't just keep holding and wrapping, because then you'll just wrap all the wire around your pliers. So you want to wrap and then release. And just keep grabbing the end so you don't damage the majority of your wire. Adjust if you need to, if it slips a little bit. Really paying attention that you're lining up these wraps as best as possible. See how that's bent just a little bit? Before you go on, bend it back a little bit so you're staying in line. And you'll see that you'll just have enough to get that 4th wrap when you measure out 1.5 inches on the end of that wire. And we're just going to tuck this in. Okay, so this is a great little tip. See how it needs to come down? Instead of trying to get my pliers in here and push it down, I will put one end of the pliers on the edge of this plier as kind of like a base to just gently push that down. It's much more secure, I find, a little more steady, I should say. You're not going to end up marring this edge here. You're just using this as your base to press against. Really, really is much better that way. You still got to be careful that you don't bend all your wraps, bend all your wire and stuff that you just did. Okay, so we've got our first wrap and 4 wraps. Now, you'll see a lot of times in making loops, they'll say, get it, put it in here and then bend it back. I find with this, because we have such a nice little barrel, can I just say barrel? A barrel of wraps, just grab it. Just grab it like that and make it level with the top of the wraps. Like that, and then just bend it towards yourself. So much easier. Then take your round nose pliers, get it in there like that. And at this time, you can straighten up anything. If you see like your wire is not in line with the wraps here, this is a good time to straighten things out. If you see anything that's wonky, straighten it out first before you go to the next step. And I'm just bending around the round nose pliers till I've kind of got it like this. Continue See, I don't like these round nose pliers. I really don't have a good set of round nose pliers. They don't hold it. Even the Xeron ones don't really hold very well until we've got something like this. And I'm looking for, see how there's the edge of this final wrap here. I'm looking to get this wire seated next to that last wrap. I kind of trying to get these to go together. Sit next to each other is what I'm saying. All right. This is where our 2 chain nose pliers or mix of flattened chain come in handy. Grab it again like this, and then put it in your non-dominant hand so that it looks like this. And we're looking again for that little angle out like that. Grabbing the end of this wire around, we're going to go back and put in the second and final layer of these wraps. Makes that barrel look, makes that, what are those wands called that are wooden that you get the honey with? That's what it looks like to me. And we're basically just duplicating the first layer right on top. And you might have a little excess. We're going to trim that. Sometimes I don't always like doing a 90-degree flush cut. Sometimes I'll do it 45 degrees, so then you're left with even a seamless flush cut, if that makes sense. See that 45-degree cut, flush cut? That makes it a little more seamless when you tuck it in, I find anyway. And you're just tucking it in. And look at that, you have made your first little, I don't know what this is called, but it's absolutely adorable. Kind of looks like maybe like a little bow tie at that point, but it just reminds me of those wands that you get honey with. Oh, and speaking of that, in case you did not know, do you know that you're supposed to use those wooden things? Because when you touch honey with anything metal, it deactivates all the enzymes in the honey. You know, I didn't know. I've been alive all these years and I didn't know that until like a year ago. So you're only supposed to get the raw honey with wood or plastic. Don't use metal. Oh my goodness, I've been killing my honey all my life. Okay, so back, we're going to do another one. Put your wire on your ruler like that and so that there's only 1.5 inches hanging out on one end. Put your chain nose pliers there and just do somewhere between a 90 and a 45 is going to do us for this. I don't want the camera to focus on these other little things. Like that. Sadly, round nose pliers. Right into that little notch that we made. And I kind of just push in, make sure it's nice in there, nice and snug. We're going out this way and we want to come around and wrap around this part of the round nose pliers. Straightening this out a little bit before I continue on. And I'm bringing the wire on top of this, the longer part. I have it in there pretty good, I think. I want to do a little something. You see how it's a little bent like that? I just want to, before I go on to the next step, I just want to straighten it out a little bit. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, and you saw what I do in the last one. I hold it with my non-dominant hand in this position. Very firmly. I am holding this super firm. Snugly as I can. Grabbing your second pair of chain nose pliers, flat nose pliers, whatever is going to do it for you. You know, everybody has their own tools that they like to use the best. Just grabbing the end of your wire that we're wrapping with. I'm really going slow, taking my time, and you can, in the middle, You can give a little squeeze, make sure it's all going. And you saw what I just did there. I am pressing from the bottom of these pliers. It does help having these tweezer nose pliers. I don't know if you could really do that with these, if it was opposite. Definitely go slow so you don't do what I just did. Just give them a little press. Hello. Okay. Oh my. Straightening that out a little bit. Really just press on that and you can like twist and it really locks in those wraps. And there we have made another loop and our first layer of wraps. Okay. Take your form that we just made. Make sure I got that in there all the way. I think it could be pushed in just a little bit more if I can. I think I need to do it with these. These are fantastic pliers for small little places. I'll have it linked down below. I think that's a little better. Okay, so you saw before, instead of trying to get pliers in there and bend it back, I'm just going to hold our form that we just made, all of our wraps, and then just bend back from there. I'm going to try to keep this part of the wire in line with our wraps as much as possible. Just makes it better, a better looking wrap in the end. Okay, grabbing it like this. Now we're going to press forward over. You see how it moved? I just want to get it, lined up a little. Also, I find these are slippery. I just find that the wire moves around in it more. Spin your pliers so that now they're out of the way and now we can continue to wrap. This is a critical part though. When you get it to this point right here, don't move on to the next. Now you will do this for the rest of the tutorial. Do not move on and just continue with that second layer of wraps. This is where the connection comes in. Now I have seated this wire next to our wraps very, very well. That's nice and tight joint there, but I need to open it up a little bit. And we're just going to lift up, make a little space so that we can slide on the first little link that we made. Then just press it right back down to right where it was before. I don't mean to go on and on about these pliers, but this would be really hard with these. You want to find whatever pliers you have with the smallest nose that you can find. It just fits right in there. Now I'm going to turn so that I have it like this in my non-dominant hand. And this wire angled out a little bit. And the only reason is it's getting us in line, to make the wraps. Plus, it's not going to hit your pliers when you're wrapping it around. Just grabbing the end. You might find that you can get even more than 4 wraps. Do whatever is left on your wire here as you're wrapping it. See, I think even though I guess technically I've only done 3. That's because I'm not including the loop wrap. I've only done 3 of these individual wraps. Okay, never mind, Carrie. Ignore her. She doesn't know what she's talking about. You'll be left with, I don't know, around 1/4 of an inch here, and we're just going to snip that off. And then tuck that piece in. And we're starting to build our chain. It's so cute. It feels good. I love the way this chain feels. Make sure you stay to the end. We're going to make this lovely clasp that matches it. Look at that. Isn't that adorable? And you don't have to really make an end for it because it's going to pop in to one of these loops that are right on the end. So make sure you stay to the end so you get this clasp for your great looking bracelet. Okay, let's do another one of these. And while I'm telling you, while I'm showing you, I want to tell you what happened to me at Walmart last week, that is still not resolved. I know you ladies just love Walmart. It's like one of those necessary evils because as we all know, it is so expensive. Groceries are so expensive, and Walmart is one of the cheapest places. Although, if you have an Aldi in your area, I do love me an Aldi for your produce and the stuff that you eat. I'll get my pharmaceutical stuff at a Walmart. But this is what happened to me at Walmart last week. Still not resolved. I wear glasses. You've heard me complaining about glasses, and let me get some of this out of the area. Before I started my grocery shopping, I went into the vision center and I said, I'm going to get my glasses adjusted. They're kind of loose. So I brought my glasses in. And I said, hey, I didn't want to disturb the girl. She looked like she was working. So, are you busy? Because I really need these adjusted. She's like, sure, I can do them for you. So she was gone like a minute. She brings them back. I put them on, and one of the lenses is blurry. And I just thought maybe because it was still wet because of the solution, the alcohol that they clean it with. And then, but still like 5 or 10 seconds later, it's still blurry. And I take my glasses off, and all the coatings, I have like a anti-glare and a blue light blocking coatings on my glasses. And it was all crackled like you did one of those paint treatments on your, if you're doing something to make the crackle look. That's what my lenses looked like. And I immediately turned back around and went in. And it's like, these are messed up. I can't see through these. And the ladies that they were in there was like, basically proceeded to tell me that's the way they were when you brought them in. We didn't do that. And yes, you did. You did do that. And so they were telling me, well, your prescription is older than a year, so we can't make these glasses for you. It's out of warranty. And this is not a warranty issue. This is you damaged my personal property. And so it is still being... I'm still, almost a week later, waiting for management to call me back because they didn't tell me that weekends didn't include in that waiting time, waiting for someone to call me back. So it's been a while, several days, waiting for Walmart to call me to get this rectified. I'm so since then I've been wearing these glasses that I can barely see out of. It looks kind of like it feels like I've got Vaseline on my glasses. And any of you out there that wear glasses, how annoying it is to have dirty glasses. So that's basically, I haven't even been wearing the glasses because they're so annoying. So I will give you an update of what I hear back from lovely Walmart. Suffice it to say, I did not shop in Walmart that day. I just went somewhere else to get my, your household pharmaceutical, cleaning supplies, that kind of stuff. I don't buy groceries there other than coffee. They have a decent coffee selection. Okay. So anyway, I will keep you updated on that. Fun times. You see how this does take a little bit more time to make one of these links, but it's so worth it. I mean, look at this. Feels so nice, so adaptable. If you're a man or a woman, you want something thicker. Somewhere, I'm going to show you something. What happens? You know how I said you get to this point? Now, if you notice, I did not attach this link to our little, what we got going on here. That's because I want to show you. It's so easy to do that. It's so easy to get in the groove of making the little link because it's so absolutely adorable, and then you forget to attach it to your chain, what you got going on. That is no problem at all. And I'm going to show you right now how that can be taken care of. It's going to start with your same process, leaving a 1.5 inches on one end. Pressing that in there. Keeping everything straight as I can. Okay. And at this point, we're going to slide this on here. Basically, we're going to open up both sides of this that we're making. Oh, I need to open this up just a little bit. Get it all nice and snug, and then you can't get anything on. So that's how you're going to remedy that. If you make one where you forgot to leave the one end open to attach it, you're just going to start again, and both ends will need to be connected. Just makes it a little bit more. Say you've got a big chain and you're doing this at this point, you'll have this big chain hanging off. That's the only drawback, is that you can't just begin the link nice and free and all by itself. You know, you're going to have this chain hanging off of it, but it's doable. Pulling that around nice and tight. I got my little end up, so what I'm going to do is just press from the bottom of the other pliers in my left hand. Just give it a good, nice and good twist there. See if I can get around that. It needs to come down just a little bit more. Pressing on those pliers because I don't want to mar our, not like it matters, it's all going to be covered over anyway, but you know, you just want it as nice as possible. I just need to tuck that down. Okay, this is the point where we're going to be able to attach that one that did not get attached previously. This will happen when you're making them. Oh, you know what I did not tell you? When you make the second loop, you want to make sure that it's in line with the loop that you already made. You know, you want them going, you want, like, see how this loop is kind of like this in profile. You don't want this one over here on this end going the opposite way. Now stay. It's another reason why I don't like these. You're sitting around, you're watching TV, or you're talking, you're getting distracted, and this will happen where you're just having too much fun and you forget to attach. Not a problem, because it happens right now. And there you go. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but I haven't been wearing nail polish because I have discovered that I have an allergy to the gel nail polish. So disappointing, because I was really enjoying having my nails nice with just a nice nude color that was nice and classy, and not even, and I said, well, maybe it's gel. So I went and got some regular nail polish yesterday. Nope. Instant headache. I was getting, my hands were like getting eczema on them or underneath the nails, and I was itchy around the cuticles, and constant daily headaches. It was insane. And that's what it was. Gel nail polish. So, can't do that. Oh well. Just have to be natural. I think I want to press this down just a little bit. I had... You all are so wonderful, and you leave me the most wonderful comments and whatnot, and questions and stuff like that. And I just got to tell you about this one comment that I had. I laugh about it now, but it kind of hurt in the beginning. But someone commented. Now, I had nail polish on that was just your nude classic color, and someone said that my nail polish was too distracting, and the reflection off of the reflection was too distracting of my nude colored nail polish. It was the most unbelievable comment. Anyway, so if you're wondering why no more nail polish, it's just going to be natural me. I'm telling you, the body butter has been really helping with my cuticles. I'm going to continue on here, speed it up a little bit, and you can follow through because I want you to stay around we're going to make this clasp. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, time to make our clasp. And I've got one made for myself here. And I think, stay there. I think if I it's just touching. And it's pretty secure around my wrist. And I think if I just put a little clasp in there, it'll have more movement in there. It'll be absolute perfect fit. So same 4.5 inches of wire. You might be able to go up to a 16 gauge. I'm still going to stick with an 18 gauge. And we are starting with, get either, if you have these are perfect. If you've got the flat nose pliers, you're just imagine if that's what you have, flat nose, and it's coming out further, just go in, about this much on your flat nose pliers. But if you have these are perfect. And we're making, sorry about that, we're making a U shape like this. And then, guess what? It still makes an appearance, yes, because I showed you in the last video that I use this area, this box area of this type of box design of a plier to clamp things down. Because many times if you're just using regular pliers and you twist it you press and it boom, and it press and it twists out of your hand. At least with this, you are pressing from 3 sides, and you get a little bit more locked in place, and it's not going to twist on you. It's not going to come out, and then you wreck your end. So I'm bringing this all the way down to the box. I don't know. I can't tell that. Oh, okay, there we go. It's flat against the bottom. And I'm just still gently, because there is still a risk of maybe it twisting. but a whole lot less. So if you look through all your pliers and see what pliers have this design, use this area. It is so perfect for mushing stuff down like that without it twisting on you. I've used this one before. Do I still want to use that one? I think I do. This is the 7mm on the bail. Look at it. Broken, abused, it still has life. It still has purpose. Oh boy. Okay, so put it in your bail pliers. Yeah, you know I'm not using those new ones. I don't like those new ones. These are my favorite. I'll never get rid of them. Just give yourself, don't pull it all the way in. Give yourself just a little bit, like that. And then just press on around. Basically almost bringing it to the first bend. Sorry, the first bend that we made. Now, at this point, we need to envision this area and how much space that we're going to need. And I go in near this bend that we made and make this bend here. All right. Then come down a little ways. Oops. And make another bend. And this is where our little wraps are going to sit right in there in this little space that we made. And everything from here on out is almost identical to the chain links. That's the beauty of this little shepherd's hook clasp type thing, because it's going to match the link. This point, this is where we attach to our chain. Now, I'm bringing up both ends, and I want to show you how one is just slightly bigger than the other. I'm going to use this one as the hole that the hook will go through, and so I'm going to attach the hook to the smaller end. Let's press that down and holding it just like we did before. The only difference here is that we won't be making a loop on the end. We're just going to go make maybe 3 wraps and then bring it on back. I don't think I can do one more. I better not do one more. See, doing the one layer, you don't use as much wire, but once you go back to using, going the second layer of wraps, you use more wire because essentially the wraps are larger. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't try to do a 4th wrap on that first layer, because this was absolutely perfect. And then just snip off the excess. Take pliers and cinch it down in there if you need to. I'm not holding it where I can get to it. Get your hands out of the way, Carrie. All right. One other little thing. Oh, I don't have my nylon pliers. Hold on. Nylon hammer. If I'm talking about the hammer, I say pliers. And if I'm talking about the pliers, I say hammer. I want to just really hammer out the whole thing and get it as firm as I can. What is that bouncing around? And then what I'll do is just put a little flattening. For that. Ooh, so pretty. And then bring it on around, and it should slip right into that little hole. So beautiful, so perfect. And then I'll go through and I will clean up any rough edges. Just a couple little things hanging out I need to go through and tweak. And then I'll put it through the tumbler. That will also help with these little sharp edges, and then put coats of protected clear. I want to show you, I don't know if you can see this on the camera or not. Ugh, my hands just made it worse. I don't know if you can tell that this one is a little more gold, a little more orangey color. This one has been through the tumbler and has 2 coats of protected clear on it, and this is just raw. What can I put that against that you can see that better? That makes a difference. No, that makes no difference whatsoever. Yeah, so it's actually lovely. This has a little more pinky tone in that copper, and then once you go through all the steps to perfect it, it's very lovely though. It's just very a golden copper, where this is more pinky copper. Very lovely. Well, I'm hoping you got something out of this, that you enjoyed this tutorial with this great, I'm not sure what you call this. I told you in the beginning, it looks like those things that you get honey out of, the little honey wands. I'm definitely not the first one who's done this tutorial, but I wanted to make it with you. I just had so much fun making it, and I know that you will as well. What a great little component for other different things. You know, you don't have to make it just all one thing. This could be components for different connections that you want to make for earrings and bracelets. Really, really lovely. Look how that shined up coming out of the tumbler. Beautiful. Well, we're going to do this again next week. Something else, something fun, something educational, something where we have some girl talk. Always great being here with you, ladies, and a few gents. I appreciate each and every one of you, your comments and your suggestions, and helping to educate myself because I don't know everything. A little brief history, and I've mentioned in a couple replies to your comments that all this jewelry that I've been doing, I have just been learning to do this probably not even a year. Over my life, I've made earrings. I mean, you saw in my tutorial making the earrings for my mother. I have made jewelry off and on, but I've never been at it like 100% as I am today. I inherited a jewelry business from my late boss, Sally Buchanan. I worked for a radio station, and she was the owner operator. I don't know how you would say that. She was the general manager for sure. And she made jewelry. She had a very successful business, and she passed away from COVID a few years ago. And her husband gave me all of her materials, all of her beads. And I am so blessed and overjoyed to learn the skill, go even deeper, go further, and share it with you. And so by all means, if you have information that I need to know, tips and tricks, share them with me so that I can share it with others. Again, so love being with you today, and I'll be right back here with you again next Tuesday.